we turning off the lights up here? No.
8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks.
OMG! Are we really live? Hip hip boom, mother flipping Ray! Oh my gosh. Talk about coming back. Talk about coming back. Talk about coming back. I am so excited to be here with you today. If you are watching this live with me, I say welcome to DTDT Nation. And more importantly, if you're brand new and you're like, who the hell is that woman? And why is she wearing red lipstick? And does she always talk this loud? Let me just tell you that you are in for an amazing treat. This entire event is for you. I have spent the last couple of weeks going like this, thinking about all of the possibilities and everything in front of us and what could be. I am so excited about you. So I want to take a moment and I want to walk through just this simple question. What do you want and why are you here? What do you want and why are you here? What do you want and why are you here? What do you want and why are you here? What do you want and why are you here? In the essence of doing the damn thing live and thinking about all of tomorrow's, I tell you, it is a gift upon gift for me to just be here. Boy, you talk about a long time coming. I am really trying to figure out to myself, man, did 2020, anybody else feel like 2022 did or did not happen yet? Here I am contemplating, is it really possible for us to be in the midst of a moment where we're asking ourselves, am I enough? Is this enough? Do I have what I need? What else do I need? Did I do that right? I'm so sick and tired of a guru who says to us, you know what, you need to have all of these things laid out before we can before we have it right. You know, we need all of these things. You need a funnel. And if it's not a funnel, you need a gadget. And if it's not a gadget, you need some great divine intervention. And if it's not a great divine intervention, it's something else. What I absolutely know to be true is that you have the responsibility of asking yourself this really key question. What do you want? So really quickly, first, last name in the chat. I just want to ask you this question. I need to know who's here. I need to know who's here. If you can entertain me. I'm so excited to be back. Hip hip hooray. So if you're wondering to yourself, like, what's going to happen these next couple of days? Absolute magic. You and I are going to be in the root or room of your dreams, your wants, your deepest desires. Over the next 4 days, I'm going to teach you everything I know about taking your business, your brand to the next level. And this is a woo-wee 4-part series. So for the person who has stumbled upon this and you're saying to yourself, well, sweet Jesus, good googly moogly, you're not even ready for that word. Let's just have a moment of silence for that word. Let's just have a whole moment of silence for good googly moogly. For the person who says to themselves, you know what? I am thinking to myself, so really quickly, if you can see me, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Can you put, go ahead, Tiffany, red lips in the chat? If you can see me, can you please put, go ahead, Tiffany, red lips in the chat? If you can see me, can you put, in the chat? This is so good, so delicious. I want you to do me a favor and tag someone here and say, hey, Venice, Miss Johnson, you're in the right place. Hey, Mary, you're in the right place. Go ahead and say, hey, Carmen, you're in the right place. Rowena, you're in the right place. Yes, so I'm telling you, we're gonna give a few minutes. We're gonna give a few minutes for you to say to your friend, hey, you really should watch this. We're gonna give a few minutes for us to turn to a brother or sister and say, hey, you're in the right place. Andre, what's going on? Good morning. Good morning. Do me a favor and entertain me as we get through this. Hey, Jackie, how you doing? Hey, Be Unique, how you doing? Priscilla, how you doing? Yes, we're gonna get started in a few minutes. I wanna give everybody a few minutes to get their lives together. If you haven't liked this, please take a moment to like this. We decided to do something different. We wanted to change the way we teach. I got an opportunity to live, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. And the truth of the matter is that I said to myself, how do we go help more people? Instead of keeping all of our training behind paid walls, I decided to take the very first part of every single morning, and it's going to be free and at no charge to the world. And this is our very first time taking advantage of something awesome called the internet. And you liking this video and then you taking the link and sharing it. My goal is to get to 100 shares by noon. That is my goal. I want to get in front of the possibility of reaching people who have never heard of us before, the person who is sitting and saying to themselves, I just don't know what to do next. The person who is thinking to themselves, dang it, am I enough? The person who is asking themselves, do I really need to do more? Dr. Marilyn, yes, you're in the right place. Butterfly Rocket, man. Butterfly Rocket, it's Cami. Cami, you're here. Angela, I'm so excited you're here. Yes, yes, and more yes. And what you're doing is you're telling the internet, okay, these people are useful. They have something valuable to say. In a moment, yes, in a moment, yes, we're gonna get started. We're gonna get started. We're gonna get started. It sounds like you're enjoying a beat. You're enjoying a beat? Okay, so really quickly do me a favor and tell me what city, state, or country are you in? What city, state, or country are you in? Where are you coming in from? 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 Yes, so if you've turned to someone, I want you to tell them, hey, you're in the right place. Here's what I know for sure. Right now at this very moment, you have everything you need to not only win, but to do it bigger, better, and harder. I'm thrilled that I get the luxury of spending this time with you. Kathleen in the house. Avis is in the house. The Dr. Jerika Dodd is in the house. In the house. I'm in the Bronx. Wisconsin in the house. Minnesota is here. Hip hip hooray, Minnesota. Antoinette is in the building from Illinois. Michelle McCreary, you're in the right place. The Julie Long is in the right place. I'm in the front row. Baby. Anna Gonzalez is in the house. Raleigh, North Carolina is in the house. Brooklyn is in the house. Portland, Oregon is in the house. So good. Hip hip hooray. New York is in the house. Maricopa, Arizona. Aww. Maricopa in the house. Hip hip hooray. Hip hip hooray. I want you to think about everything that has happened in the last 60, 90 days. I want you to think of everything that has happened in the last 60 or 90 days. I want you to think about everything that has happened in the last 60 or 90 days. Texas is in the house. Yes. Who else is in the house? Yes. Sometimes you just have to catch a beat. You know what I mean? Jackie is in the house. Los Angeles is in the house. LA is in the house. Monterey Bay, California is in the house. South Carolina is in the house. New York is in the house. Hey Helen, hey Helen, hey Helen, hey Helen, hey Helen, hey Helen, hey, oh, where you at now? Let me see it. So good, so good. This is the kind of move that you make when you're excited. Is anybody else just excited? Is anybody else just stupid excited? Is anybody else saying, hey, it's gonna be a great day. Hey, this is gonna be my week. Hey, this is my season. Hey, I'm so ready. Hey, Andre is in the house. Oh. Hallie, like Sally, is in the house. Oh, can you catch a beat? Catch a beat. Hey. Oh, hey. Someone out there right now is like, is she gonna teach anything? Is there a board coming? Are there slides? I came here with a pen and paper. The answer is no, because I'm not ready. Right now I'm catching the beat. It's a good thing to be alive. It's a good thing to be alive. Listen to me. When you face yourself like I have this year, I promise you that it's a good thing to be alive. You're looking at us and let the Holy Ghost come take me up here and just put on a whole different type of a show for everybody. Hey, Charles is in the house. Marissa is in the house. Hey, Okay, so here is question number 1. Here we go. I want you to ask yourself, of course, this is the teaching. We're not done yet, Carmen. Hey. So for some of you that are grown like me, let me just give you this move real quick. Let me give you this move. You're welcome. On a Sunday morning. But I didn't go to church. You are at church. But I didn't you are gonna get fed. But I'm not really sure I got to hear the word. I got the word for you. You're good. Hey, I'm about to do a 2-step up here. It's what you don't understand what's about to happen. Okay. Welcome to Do DTDT Live. I have to monitor my words as we are public and on the internet. But all of you who know what DTDT means, can you please put it in the chat for everybody so that everybody understands what we're doing, who we are, why we're here, and what this entire mission is about, and why you want to buckle down and absolutely get ready for the next 4 days. Today is officially day 1 of your tomorrows. And let me be clear, as we turn down this music, let me be crazy clear. I want to be crazy clear. And I want to say this from me to you. Whatever has happened in 2022 so far, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. The only thing that matters right now is what are you going to do with the rest of this year? Forget what didn't happen. Forget who didn't happen. Forget what part of your place or your story or your vision or your insight. Forget it. What I know for sure is that it doesn't matter what didn't happen. It doesn't matter what didn't come through. It doesn't matter what you didn't get approved for. It doesn't matter who didn't sign the contract. It doesn't matter what dollar didn't hit your bank account. It doesn't matter what such and such said. It doesn't matter what he or she said. It doesn't matter. It's all irrelevant. It's behind us. What you get to decide with me right here, right now, wherever you're watching this from, and whether you're watching this live or you're hanging out with us on replay, I want you to be crazy clear that the only thing that matters is what you do with today. It is what you decide to do with today. The only thing that matters is what you make a decision on. I ask you, I beg you to make a decision for the love of Mary, Joseph, and John the Baptist. Make a decision. Make the decisions. 90 days ago, I was sitting in my office. I wasn't sitting in my office. Matt and I were painting a wall. And I found myself in a place of really feeling just less than physically. But I couldn't put my finger on it, and I tried to press through. I started a sentence to Matt that said, hey, Matt, do you think you can take over painting the wall? Because we moved into this amazing office. Well, we're in our studio. Right now, we're in Do the Damn Thing. Said it. DTDT Studios. But what I want to be transparent and say is that we were in our office, and Matt didn't let me finish a sentence, but without knowing, he came and he said, don't worry, I'll take it. I'll finish the rest of the wall, because I wanted to paint. I was like, I want to be a part of this thing. I want to be a part of it. I want to be in it. And before I knew it, I was deteriorating within seconds, and seconds turned into minutes. And Jerika was with us, one of our awesome, amazing DTDT coaches here. And she was asking me about something really important. And I said to her, hey, I'd like for us to take this conversation elsewhere. So we moved elsewhere. I needed to grab some food. Before I knew it, I felt faint, that I was in a lot of pain. That moment of crazy pain turned for me to be one of the hardest days of my entire life. Before I could blink twice, I wasn't just in pain. At this moment, Jerika was awesome enough to offer to help me with a few pieces. She was in my home at this time. And then she really shaped the beginning of saying to me, hey, you don't look so good. And hey, you really need to go to the doctor. And she's awesome. I was watching my daughter's dog at the moment, and she picked up Benji and she said, I'll take Benji with me home, and I'm going to care for him. You just rest and relax. She's amazing. First lesson, you need to surround yourself with just good humans with their good heart, not their good intentions. First lesson. Second thing that happened is I had this reality check where here I was trying to ward this thing off. Anybody know what I'm talking about, where you feel something and you say to yourself, oh, this thing is going to pass. I'm going to be okay. Give me a couple of minutes. You know what? This thing is going to I'm going to be good. Is anybody else ever have those moments where you just continuously brush something off? Lesson number 2, don't brush off the symptom. Really quickly in the chat. Don't brush off the symptom. Don't brush off the symptom. Sorry. I was getting a little bit excited, a little bit carried away. Let me just calm down. I will calm down. Okay. Don't brush off the symptoms. I am notorious for brushing off symptoms. I thought I had gotten better until I had my behind handed to me on February 12th. My level 5 pain turned into 11.9, and before I could bat an eye, my pain level out of scale of 1 to 10 was at level 15. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm telling you right now? At about a level 17, the truth of the matter, no BS between you and me, I sat in my home by myself, and I found myself drifting in and out of consciousness, and I began to pray for death. My pain was intolerable. Fast forward, I transparently give you this because I want you to be clear that when I say it doesn't matter how you started this year, and it doesn't even matter what happened last month. I don't care if you physically feel like if that person hurt your feelings or if your business is not going well. What I'm here to tell you that if we stop brushing the symptoms, we begin to heal and get better. If you caught me, can you put the word money in the chat? Let me do the first level of housekeeping here at DTDT. When you hear something that resonates with you and you're like, oh, I got that. Money. Tell me what the money was. Now I need to know what the money was. What happened this year is not a factor of what's going to happen the second part of this year. They're not mirrors of each other, nor are they bridges or roadmaps. I am living proof. Again, I stand here today before you with my story, and I'm going to use its entire depth to teach you everything that you need to absolutely crush the rest of this year, to build something that's stupidly stronger, and more importantly, to get in the driver's seat of your life and in front of what you want. But for me, it's going to start with you not brushing off the symptoms. That day turned into that night. And I had a moment where I found myself lost. I was in between praying for death and having no clue what time it was. I was still alone, and no one knew that I was on the floor of my living room begging for mercy. My phone was not near me, but I could talk to Siri in the dark. I began to ask Siri to call Albert, and I, through words, managed to get out a sentence. But when I got out the sentence, according to him, I then fell asleep or I went back out. When I came to again, I sent him a text message and he really couldn't understand what was happening. And I think he thought maybe my phone just died, which it often does. I am notorious for it. And what's so real about this moment is that I began a journey of asking Siri to help me. Like, we should tag Apple, because the truth is that Siri has in part saved my life. So I began to tag Siri. Long story short is I find myself into a situation where I know I need to get from where I am into a Lyft car to take me to a Google reviewed hospital in a city that I don't know much about, where hopefully they can figure out what is happening with me. Now, what's really real is that I stumble outside in a little bit bigger than a t-shirt. I have nothing underneath. I have these backdoor sandals, but I had just packed my bag for Los Angeles. And so I managed to it was very light. It had my wallet inside, and I got into this car and I fell asleep in the backseat of this car. A nice person didn't kick me out, but got me to the door of this hospital where these wonderful humans that I will never forget in this lifetime came, got me, and I was in a chair and to the back before I knew it. In between me being belligerent, I was that person in the ER. I was that person screaming down the whole place. It was horrid. I'm sharing this story with you because I want you to understand that that was just 90 days ago. And in between then and today, I've made decisions. I'm going to ask you really quickly in the chat as you're sitting with me to write these words for yourself. Because for me, it was make a decision, Tiffany. So I want to see in the chat right now. Make a decision, Angela. Make a decision, Avis. Make a decision, Kathleen. Make the decision, Andre. Make the decision. Make the decision, please. Make the decision, and please, for the love of God, make it right now and don't wait. Don't wait. Stop waiting. You wait and more foolishness gets involved. You wait and we become heavier. You wait and time leaves us. You wait, we get older. You wait and we're leaving resources. You wait and you wait. I waited until about almost 1 a.m. to get into that car. I was in pain from 2:30, 3:30 that afternoon. It was 4 o'clock when Jerika drove away. I'm sure of it. It was beautiful outside. I made a decision, and the decision was almost too late. When I got to the back, I was screaming down the entire building, and they kept giving me pain medication, but it wasn't really helping me. They put me into multiple machines. I can't even remember because I was so lost mentally and emotionally. And they kept putting me in machines, and finally someone came into the room. I remember one man coming in, and he looked very worried, and he began to tell me that they found something and such and such and such. But before he can say anything, two people appeared behind him. They were the surgeons, and they said she has to have surgery right now. And all I could think to myself was, I'm not ready. I am not ready. You want me to decide? I'm not ready. Sometimes when we need to make a decision, you're not ready for the decision that needs to be made, but it still means that you need to make it. Did you feel me? Do you understand what I just said to you? From my heart to yours. My lack of making a decision almost cost me my life. I don't want it to cost you yours. My lack of making a decision for myself, by myself, without anyone else's help or input, almost cost me my life. I don't want it to cost you yours. Oh, but Tiffany, that's not going to happen to me. Well, really? Because hell, I'll tell you right now, if you're not dying mentally, you're dying spiritually. If you're not dying spiritually, you're dying right now financially. If you're not dying right now financially, you're dying right now physically. Period. Go ahead and try to prove me wrong. I'm right. Your lack of decisions, your lack of making a decision is putting you in the place of I want us to be on the same page together because I don't want it to cost you your life like it almost cost me mine. When they were standing above me and they were like, I know this is crazy, but you have to have surgery right now. And all I kept saying was, nobody knows where I am. You can't do this. I have to call. And then, but I don't want you to think I was talking like this. This was in between tears and screaming and lostness. And I remember thinking, nobody knows that I'm in the hospital. I am alone at this moment. I felt alone before I left, and here I am alone in this hospital. Very nice people, but I still don't know anybody. And I'm Tiffany Largie, who has tons of people who she's connected to, but yet I found myself alone. Sometimes when we need to make the decision, some of the most important decisions that we're ever going to make, we have to make them, and we're going to be alone when we do it. It's going to be independent of your mother and your father. It's going to be independent of your sister, brother, your cousins, your clients, your therapist, your pastor, the pastor's wife, Bebe, Ray down the street, Pookie, and all of the people that you consult on a regular basis to get answers. We have to make the decision. We have to make it alone. Right now, there's a decision that you need to make. Before I teach you all the art of sales and marketing and running the streets and being the strongest version of yourself, before I even get to that part, before I even teach you how to build a whole empire, before I even teach you how to dominate the stage, how do you create events like this? How do you use your story to smash it when it comes to marketing and sales? Before I even get there, before we workshop that, the rest of today and tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that, I need us to be on the same page. I need you to understand with me that what is missing is you making a decision. What that moment meant for me in my life was a reflection of so many other things that I got to between February 13th when I had surgery and today as I stand before you. My lack of decisions almost cost me, and my lack of decisions in other areas was costing me. They whisked me off into this operating pre-op place. I'm literally laying up looking at all these people. I can remember the bright lights, just like in a TV show, and all of the anesthesiologists and people coming going, hi, my name is such and such, I want to take good care of you. And all I could say to them was, does anybody know that I'm here? That's all I kept repeating to every person. Does any other person? Because all I was thinking is, man, I'm about to go out. And what if I die on this thing? What if y'all don't bring me back? Y'all don't even know me. You don't know that I love my children. You don't know that I run XYZ. You don't know that there are people around the world who are waiting for me. I have to get back to such. You better keep my eyes. Like, it was a whole thing. But the truth of the matter is that I had to trust. Lesson number 3. I needed to let go and trust. Lesson number 3, let go and trust. Make a decision, let go and trust. Number 3, I needed to let go and trust. Right now in the chat, entertain me. I need your name with that sentence. Jessica, let go and trust. Let go and trust. If you haven't taken this link and shared it somewhere, whether it's on your Facebook, it's in your stories, if you're really a boss and you are willing to open up your email list, someone needs to hear this. And you may be the person who changes the game for somebody who's out there. The truth of the matter is that I kept fighting what was about to happen. But there was a moment where the surgeon heard me as he was probably around the corner in the room getting the room ready. Because he basically told them, I'm going to get the room ready by myself. We're going to find a room, put her in there, and we're going to do this thing. He came back over. He moved the anesthesiologist aside and he said, listen to me. I promise you, you can trust me. Tell me the name of a person or a phone number and I'm going to find them and get to them myself. Or I'm going to let them find me and I will talk to them myself. You can trust me. I know you're scared. I know you don't understand what's about to happen. I know you can't understand what's happening in your body. But if you don't let go and let me put you in the room, you're going to be in trouble. We're going to have a big problem. He wouldn't use the word. He wouldn't tell me you're going to die. But he came so close that I understood the sentiment. His heart to mine allowed me to surrender and to trust him. He has no idea that his willingness to be the greatest version of himself in that moment and to walk back over to me, to push the people aside and to give me what I was asking for, trust. He knew that he had the power to be the trust that I needed. He knew in this moment that it would be the thing that allowed me to decide to let go and to trust. Right now, there are some of you who are on the fence. You're like, I don't even know why the hell I'm here. Why does she always wear red lipstick? And why the hell does she have earrings that are so big? Does she really have to have yellow nail polish? There are some of you who have looked at the screen and have judged me and wondered all types of things. Are those real flowers? That's so unprofessional to have her phone right there. I'm sure. I can only imagine. But God, if you could just entertain the possibility this week with me and DTDT Nation and every amazing human who has mastered how to tell their story around the world. If you are willing to entertain what's possible and you're willing to let go and just trust, magical things will happen. And then magical things will continue to happen. My greatest opportunity at that moment was letting go and trusting. My greatest opportunity at that moment is letting go and trusting. My greatest opportunity was letting go and trusting. He said to me, I promise I've got this and I've got you. I closed my eyes and the next thing I know, I woke up. The last 90 days has been nothing more than just massive trust. Massive trust for so many levels, simply because of the thing that I left the hospital without the ability to walk. I left the hospital with a throat that I couldn't function with because I had so many thick, painful tubes that had to stay in me after my surgery. I left the hospital needing help from everybody, around the clock, in all the ways, in all the things. I also left the hospital with a brand new set of decisions to make. Here's what I love most. Charles Johnson for the win has come and he's like, no. He's like, let me just jump in real quick. You look great. He's like, let me just say a few things. I don't have my Cash App yet up, Charles, so I just want to make sure we're on the same page. I don't have it. I can bring down the shoulders a little bit more, so possibly we can, see if I can improve this. Because like great is like, you look great, you look fine. I'm hoping for something else. You know, I'm still from Miami. I control my hair. I can get it in. But the truth of the matter is that I really 100%, like for real, I found myself needing to make new decisions. And my new decisions led us right here. It led me to remove, to bring in. It led me to take a scissors, in some aspects, a machete. How many people need to take a machete to something? Because y'all playing around sometimes, you're like, I'm going to snip it off. I'm just going to cut them off real quick. No, sometimes you need to butcher it. Sometimes you need to take a machete to get the job done. The truth of the matter is that I would not be here today if it wasn't for my willingness to make a decision, then to let go and trust. But then over the last 90 days, I've had to learn a brand new version of letting go and trusting. Around the clock, I have had a ton of people who have come to my aid. I have had a gazillion people who have stepped up. I have had quite a few people who have stepped down, or I've stepped them down. And I apologize for none of it. Because it doesn't matter what happened back then. It only matters what I do with today. Because you and I have today. We have today. If something has landed for you, if something has landed for you, can you please put the word money in the chat really quickly so that I know? If something has landed for you, money in the chat. Lesson number 4. Is this number 4 or number 5? I don't know. Number 4. Here we go. You need a visual reminder. Once you make the decision, you need a visual reminder so that you don't turn back. Because sometimes you need to cut once and then you need to come back and machete it. So what happened is I got out of the hospital, and the first 10, 15, 20, 30 days, I took some scissors, little butter knife, little steak knife, got a little bit of this out, a little bit of that out. I moved a little bit over to the left. But then, sweet Jesus, good googly moogly, do you know what happened after that? I realized the flipping butter knife was bending. I realized that those scissors were dull. Am I talking to anybody in here? Am I talking to somebody in this room? Has anybody ever been where I've been? Where you're like, well, damn it. This butter knife is bending, for crying out loud, Jehoshaphat. I'm like, you know what? I'm doing this. I'm done here. I am moving on. I'm changing. I'm shifting gears, blah, 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 blah. My goal is not to motivate you. I am not motivational. This is not motivational. This is a brother to sister to sister conversation. We have things to do. Your lack of decision is what's holding you back. Not your lack of hustle. It is not your lack of working 24 hours. It is your lack of decisions. I am telling you from my story. Learn from my story and take the shorter route. I had to come to terms on March 1st that I had new decisions to make. The butter knife bending, the steak knife dull, scissors dull, I'm in trouble. And then I said to myself, I need a machete. Someone please bring me a machete. I need a machete if I'm going to get back out, because nobody is coming to save. Listen to me. Nobody is coming to save us. Don't let me start this here. Nobody is coming to save you and me. And because no one's coming to save us, that means that we have a responsibility to be in charge of saving ourselves. No matter who's in front of us, no matter what team we have, we have a responsibility to save ourselves. We have a responsibility to save ourselves. I want you to put in the chat really quickly, no one's coming to save you with your name. Because I literally said, Tiffany, the butter knife, I was by myself, no BS, looking out the window. Outside of my beautiful home, I said, Tiffany Largie, nobody is coming to save you. Then I was like, Tiffany Largie, the butter knife is not going to work. These scissors, even though someone handed you a second pair of scissors and it looks good, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. You need a machete. And I was like, dear world, where the can I find a machete? I need a fucking machete for all of it. That's what I need. March 1st, I woke up with clarity that I needed a machete. And as crazy as that may have felt to the outside world, as lost as someone else might feel looking at me or thinking to themselves, well, Tiffany, you don't want a such and such. Most people, they come out of the hospital and they're like, I just want to get back to the life I was living. I want to get back to what I was doing. I was like, what I was doing before. I don't give what I was doing on the 8th. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Events have been canceled. Plans have been canceled. People are already angry. Clients are upset. Okay, fine. I'm going to make new decisions. The team is doing such and such and such. I'm going to make new decisions. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to save you, brother. No one is coming to save you, sis. No one's coming to save you. And I'm telling you this because I love you like crazy. One of the decisions that I made was I was going to step to the plate and I was going to figure out how do I take what I've just mastered and teach. Because the faster I can give it to you to teach, the faster you can go implement in your life and the faster that you can go and do the doggone thing in your own world. This is not about being motivational. This is about a clarity moment between me and you. Because you think that you need a new marketing strategy and you don't. And before I even get into the hows of what we're going to be teaching today, I know I needed to start this moment. Because when I got home and I spent those couple of weeks and I understood on the 1st that I needed a machete, shoo, woo wee. I promise you, the decisions is what saved me. So I made a decision here and then here and then here. Then I made big decisions, bigger decisions. Some of my decisions, some of my lack of making, on March 1st, I got clear that some of my lack of making a decision in the last 4 months cost me about $260,000. I had a moment of clarity where I almost choked, fainted, passed out, rolled around on the ground, angry with myself, frustrated. But then I realized that the slower I made decisions, the more pain I sat in. The faster I made decisions, the faster I began to heal. Is anybody here want to heal? Anybody here like, I gotta heal? Anybody here need to get stronger? Does anybody here need to up their money game? Like, does anybody here need to? Because the truth of the matter is that your lack of decision is what's holding you back. It's not your lack of strategy. I'm going to teach you a ton of strategy, but I want you and I to both hang out in Decision Land. Decision Land USA. And then it's not just making a decision. It's making the, I was going to use the word strongest. But some of you make decisions and you're like, yeah, I'm going to make a decision. I'm making a decision right now, Tiffany. I am making the decision right now. Man, I am making the decision. And then you're like, I am making the decision. And then you mess around and you make a decision that no one can see or feel, especially you. What's that about? What? That's dumb. Then you make a decision that's comfortable. I'm going to ease my way through it. If you're going to ease your way through it, you might as well not make a decision. You are wasting your time. Life is too short. You are wasting your time. You are wasting your time. You are wasting your time. Let me get up in your face. Let's make sure we're on the same page. You are wasting your time. If you're not going to make a decision that's going to have an impact, then you're wasting your time. And the other part of this, the whole part of this, let me get really close so that we're on the same page. Because I love you so much that before I even begin to teach, with the amount of tears that I have shed, the amount of cussing I have done, the amount of people I've had to let go of, the amount of people I've had to bring closer, I want to be so transparent when I say to you, there is nothing more important than making the decision that has an impact immediately. And you know that you've made a right decision because it hurts. It hurts you somewhere. You can feel the stretch of it. You feel it physically, you feel it spiritually, you feel it mentally, you feel it financially. If you're letting go of the right people in your life, afterwards, you shouldn't be feeling like you're going to do a cartwheel. you should feel like, oh, one, because a weight has been lifted, but on the other hand of it, it's because you have said to yourself, should I, shouldn't I? I guess I should. Here's what's so good. I got another opportunity to live. And I asked myself, what am I going to do with the time that I have left? And then I started asking myself, well, who do I want to be with? If I could break all the rules and not be politically correct, and if I could just love myself enough. Then I asked myself, what kind of business are we building? Then I walked through what kind of things are we building, not just for myself, but for every other person that is connected to me. I moved forward inside of trusting myself. And then number 5 is bringing my willingness to the plate with a machete. Before we even get closer, let me ask you a question, a serious question. What do you need to take a machete to before we get started? What do you need to take a machete to before we get started? Let me give you an idea for how some of you made a little decision. This is simple. This is a great example. Some of you made a crazy decision. You had the opportunity to come into VIP, but you made a decision to just take the free ticket. Because you were like, oh, you know what? I just want to dabble and see what it's like. I really don't want to spend the money. It's $47. For some of you, that's a stretch. I get it. But for a lot of you, not taking the $47, not taking the VIP ticket was a loss. I'm going to teach you millions of dollars worth of how. And you get to ask me anything. We charge thousands of dollars per hour for my time. And now that I know how much time I don't have, our prices went up this month. Are you crazy? Oh, I'm just going to look at the free preview. I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to. For that alone, if you didn't even show up for the 4 days, but you got the opportunity to get into a private room with me one of these days and ask me a question, what are you talking about? That's a great example of doing something small. When you had the opportunity to do something big. When you had the opportunity to ... When? You had the opportunity, but you're like, you know what? I need to think about it. I need to assess it. I need to contemplate it. I need to think about it more. Let me look over it. Let me mull it over in my head. Are you kidding me? The hell are you doing? You trying to make big things happen and you keep taking small moves? You want a big life and you keep taking small moves? You want a big bank account and you're taking small risk? You want a big business and you're talking to 2 people a day? Are you kidding me? You want to lose real weight, but you're going for a 10-minute walk a day? What are you talking about? You make little moves, you're going to have a little life. You make little business moves, you're going to have a little business. You make little relationships moves, you're going to have a poor relationship. This is not even rocket science. Listen, am I talking to anybody? Can I just get an amen? It's Sunday morning. For crying out loud. Am I talking to anybody this morning? You can't bring a butter knife to the fight, people. You cannot. That will never work. That'll never work. It'll never work. You cannot. I'm going to win this thing. I'm going to make 10K a year and I'm making 1 call a week. You're bugging is what you're doing. You're joking. Oh, but Tiffany, I have such and such to do and my life is happening and I had an emergency. I got it. I had an emergency too. But I tell you, if you watch the kind of business that I run still, forget what the team is doing, what I'm doing. I don't have time for your excuses, and neither do your dreams. As the Jerika Dodd says, oh, let me call her by her right name before I get this wrong. Let me clear my throat for it. The Dr. Jerika Dodd, because there's a doctor in front. And, I want to keep this thing correct. The Dr. Jerika Dodd says all the time, your dreams are urgent. You are urgent. So here I am looking at myself in this recliner that I had to live in for a month. I lived in a recliner. I could not go to a bed. And I assessed all the people around me, people who kept flying in and out to help me. Eventually then team who came to see me, and I was grateful for it. But I was not in the place of going, oh, let me go and see what's on Facebook. I deleted Facebook, Instagram, and all social media platforms completely when I got out of the hospital. Actually, when I was in the hospital. I hadn't seen Facebook from February 13th until maybe this week. I hadn't seen it. And the reason why is because I knew that that was a distraction. And I made a decision that we were headed around the world. There are people in so many countries who need to go and tell their story and build a bigger life. And I know that we're the vehicle for it. And I understood that every minute that I gave towards something that took away or distracted from me, that I was not depositing into the mission that I committed to. I decided to withdraw all of my minutes and time from places and people that don't matter and take all of that time and deposit it into the mission. And here we are today. All of it, not some of it. Well, Tiffany, I'm almost there. Okay, great. Well, then why aren't you actually there? Because you don't want to be. Because you part-timing the thing. Think about if I was like, yo, I'm going to love you. I'm going to love you with all my heart part of the time. Half of the day. 7 to 12. I'm going to love you on the weekends. No, not every weekend, but every other weekend. We're going to be best friends in the spring. No, we can add in the fall possibly too. Maybe not the beginning of the fall because I'm kind of busy. How do you do something part of the way? You don't. There's no such thing. I cannot sort of love you. You cannot sort of be committed. I don't do things that are in the gray area. And the second that I find out that I've dipped into the gray area, I immediately race either to the black or the white. So that we're clear on what's in front of us and what's happening. Really quickly, I want you to take a moment with me. Answer this question so that I know. So that I know. Why are you here? What do you want? First, that's first. But second, why did you buy just a free? Why is it possible to give people the option to get into VIP? Can we still do that? Is there anybody who wants to join me for the rest of this? Because in 90 minutes, we're going to accomplish massive things. But can you imagine what we would accomplish if we spent the entire day together? And if you're catching this on replay, somewhere here is going to be an opportunity for you to join us in the event that is right around the corner. The moment that is right around the corner. Smartest and best thing that you can do. No, I'm calling your dreams a side piece. Let's get the words together. Side chick is Midwestern stuff. Side piece is true. I don't want to call it true hood material, but it is true baseline. Side piece. No part-time allowed. If there's a way that we can get you into VIP so that you have access to the entire event, that would be awesome. If you're like, Tiffany, I cannot do that. I understand that. I will see you. I will be here ready for you every morning. And you'll have exactly what you need to start making major shifts. Each day after that, when we break, we're going to be heading into workshops for the day where I'm going to be workshopping with you your world. Andre, I'm okay to use the word side piece. You guys okay with that? I just want to call it 100. These earrings are not by a chance. Everyone should be on VIP for sure. Avis, you're welcome. Side piece. Hey, listen. Just keeping things 100. Cammy for the win. So each day I'm going to be looking for the person who heads into chat. I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping right now as I don't want a part-time lover, that's for sure. Side piece dreams, Jesus be a fence. So I'm going to take a few important things and do some housekeeping. Okay, number one. Number one, let me do, what do you want for, okay, so for the person who says this is what I want to know what you want for yourself, selfishly. So really quickly, couple of things. I want you to answer for me, what do you want for yourself? What do you want for yourself? I want you to be selfish. What are we going to build here together this week? What do you want for yourself? What do you want for yourself? Andre, you want more than that. Andre said he'd like some steak in his ramen. Okay? That's a different perspective. If you could dream and dream wildly, what do you want? We're going to walk through something called story. In these next 45 minutes, we're going to walk through story, and we're going to walk through the story that you need to tell, that you should be telling, and we're going to walk through the story that you could be. So what's awesome is that you and I, right, you want a peace of mind, correct? I love it. What will give you a peace of mind? This week I am going to be I'm going to be giving some things away. I have a lesson pack that I have of things that I have collected while I've traveled. And for people, I'm going to be taking names. I'm looking for participation in our workshops. I'm looking for the person who is most active by the day or half a day inside of the family room. Okay, so really quickly, if we can put access, for those of you who are VIP, you have access to a family room where we can talk all day, 24 hours for the day. 24 hours for the day. I want to define my career, next steps, story and draft mode, half page. You want to do, what do you want to do with your story? That's just the beginning of it. That's okay, great, that's great, but what do you want to do with it? Focus on the prize and allow these. I love that. That's good. That's good. Freedom to choose what? So really quickly, I'm going to do some housekeeping. Here we go. So number one, if you are not joining us in a VIP, I highly encourage you to do so now. We might open up an opportunity to do it tomorrow, but the price is going to change. That's first. Second, your concierge's table. Number one, if you have not booked a call with Ryan is my coach. He is a DTDT coach, but he is also he's how I stay strong. He is my physical coach. He is the person that gets called for all the things. He is the person that I fly to and who flies to me and once I got strong enough to get to my next level well before I got sick. So over the last 2 years, I then brought him I convinced him. I didn't bribe, I kind of bribed him, and I didn't threaten him, but I kind of threatened him to join DTDT because I wanted how awesome he was to be in front of all of the people that I love the most. So you have an opportunity to book time with Ryan. Book the time with Ryan. Take the coaching call. It is a game changer call. Someone reached out to me and said, oh, but Tiffany, I don't know how effective a call can be in 10 minutes. You're crazy. Do you know how much can happen in 10 minutes? Look at what has happened here, and we've only been here together for 30. How many feel a game-changing moment for them already? Not just they're excited and hyped up. How many, does anyone feel game changer? If you feel a game changer moment, can you just put hashtag game changer moment in the chat? Ryan is amazing. His phone number. So let me give you his phone number. You got access to his link. You got access to all of the things. You got access to all of the things. You got access to all of the things. Yes, I am holding on to a whole cup. So you ever have a favorite cup that you're like, I really like when I'm drinking out of this cup? I have my super awesome red Notorious cup, but I decided I had this cup and it was like my lucky cup. So hopefully you're okay that I'm using it to drink. This is a plastic straw. This is plastic, but I love it. I think it's amazing. Okay, I want to become more, I'm actually going to read all of these. So please do not BS in the chat. I am one by one going to respond to them all when I'm done. Please do not BS in the chat, and please don't just put something simple. Actually, tell me what you want. I have the answers. Our team has the answers. Only because I've lived it, not because I'm the best. Even though DTDT is the best. Ryan's phone number, write this down, 480-269-1355. Word on the street, he said he was not opening up any more times after yesterday. Some of you took a time with him and yesterday was awesome. If you had an awesome time with Ryan yesterday, can you please just put the word Ryan in the chat? Can you just put the word Ryan in the chat? If you had an amazing time with Ryan. If you had an amazing time with Ryan, put Ryan in the chat. His phone number is 480-269-1355. Do me a favor and send him a text message. I'm dead serious. He doesn't even know that I'm giving you this number, but I made a decision without telling him that he was going to find a way. I'm going to sweetly explain it to him, though. It's going to be a nice, wonderful, warm conversation where I'm going to bribe him to open up his time today to take a few more calls, because so many people reached out and were like, Tiffany, I need help. I didn't get to talk to Ryan. If you talked to Ryan yesterday, please let him know that you talked to him yesterday. Yes, for sure. No, Mary Stanley, you're the best. You are the best. If you talked to Ryan yesterday, those complimentary calls are my gift from me to you. It is the beginning of me. It's the reason why I did this entire event. Typically, we would charge so much for this event, but I said I wanted to make this thing a no-brainer. I wanted you to be able to have what you needed so that you can crush it as soon as I could physically stand and teach. Now, I don't want to lie and tell you that I'm perfect. I am not. I still have tons of pain. They have me doing all types of things. And even today, I will show everybody, I have this, as I had a whole IV hooked up to me before I got started so that I made sure that I had enough strength to last for today. I'm not ready to be in front of a live audience yet, but I will be in front of a live audience soon. And there's going to be an opportunity for you to head into Phoenix. For some of you, let me just make this clear. We're not making some big offer. I'm going to be very transparent. My number one goal is to give you. And some people say that, but I'm actually going to do it. I have been given this crazy gift of being able to live again. The amount of doctors who have come to me and said, and the surgeons afterwards, like, are you sure you didn't have any symptoms for the last year? According to them, with what I had, I should have had symptoms like every day and been living in the doctor's office begging for help. I didn't have any real symptoms of pain until that day. And they're like, It's just a miracle. I don't even understand it. I don't get it. I don't get it, Tiffany, but I think I'm gonna get it. And, and so I said to myself, here's what's real. I'm going to give a gift. So this is my very first day back out in public. Hey, this is my first day back in our studio, in our amazing studio that we've built here in Phoenix, Arizona. And I said to myself, I'm going to start by giving back to our community. This is not even a public event. If you've got access to it or you can see it, just know that someone shared it with you, connected you with it. I said I'm going to do this for the community because during my time of being sick, the amount of people who sent gifts, baked cookies, sent cards, people in our programs, like people in the collective who sent me a personal message who were like, Tiffany, I will fly to Arizona and take care of you. I heard that you said you were alone. Tiffany, I'm here to help. The amount of love that I experience, I can't even begin to put that into words. It is a spiritual journey that I have never had before. And its truth and rawness has led me to say, well, the first thing I'm going to do when I get back to the office, as I have rebuilt the game and how we serve the world, I didn't just make things better. I moved some things aside and put others forward. I decided I was going to create this entire experience so that way I could be present with you and give and help you grow. I made the tickets something that was a no-brainer, whether it's free or $1 for a general admission, and then VIP is $47, because I said at $1, no matter what country that person is in, they will be able to, with confidence, get in front of, get into the room. And I figured $1 would keep us at a neutral level for all day. I wanted to give and I wanted to serve. I want to be every bit of what I say is the answer and the solutions on the planet, and I want our company to be a representation of what you can build if you're willing to. I'm living proof here today that if you want it enough, it will come, only if your willingness matches the desire. Now, the truth of the matter is that I wanted to take this time to ask you what you're tolerating, to ask you for your grace, and I want to finish going through the housekeeping things. But all I ask before I get back to housekeeping is that you dial yourself in. You turn off the TV. You don't watch this and compare at a park on your phone, that you head home. You don't try to cook in between. If you're at work and you're like, Tiffany, I am at work, but I'm listening, I hear you. I get it. We have made it so that you have the replay available. I made sure that you could come back and watch this time and time and time and time again. I also wanted to make sure that in addition to being able to watch this again, that you had the ability, if you're in VIP, you're going to get the recordings. We have never done that, ever. I'm giving you the recordings. Because inside, especially if you're inside of one of our programs or the Boss Collective, I'm going to be teaching from it for the next 90 days. I'm going to be working hand in hand with those people to teach and teach again and teach again and teach again until I feel confident that you have what you need. You're amazing. You're super amazing. In a moment, I'm going to dial us into story. In a moment, I'm going to dial us into story. But I'm going to finish getting through the housekeeping. So Ryan, you have his phone number, 480-269-1355. Send him a text message and say, Dear Ryan, I screwed up yesterday by not booking a time. Please, oh please, can I have one of them today? Please. Number two. Oh. Okay, that was my dance. That's a new dance I made for you. Oh, okay. So number 2, concierge. You have your very own event concierge. The event concierge, AKA awesome, amazing Julie Long, who gave me the best laugh I have had. She's given me the best life for sure, but she's also given me the best laugh I have had ever last night during rehearsal. I'm going to say Julie Long is your event concierge. She is here to answer all of the questions. So if you're like, man, I wonder, how do I get to such and such? Or I can't find such and such. Or what did Tiffany say about blah, 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 blah? Or I'd like to upgrade, or maybe even not. You're trying to get to the late night Q&A with me on Tuesday, or went Tuesday night, and you're like, I don't know what to do. Maybe you hear me talk about an offer. I am going to talk about some offers. I'll talk about that in a moment. And you're like, what did she say? I need some clarity. Julie's going to be your woman. You're going to send her a text. 480-256-8022. That is 480-256-8022. Okay? Text her. She's amazing. Don't call her first. Text her. That's amazing. She's amazing. Yay! And she's so pretty. Text her, okay? Me, if you want to be behind the scenes, and I saw you waving at me, sweet pea, honey bunches, sugar plum, angel pie. I want to call her another cake. Can I call you sweet cakes? Are we at that level? Can I call you sweet cakes? I'd like to call you sweet cakes if that's okay. I don't know if that's allowed, but we're going to see. All right. Next, if you want to text me, you can send me a text for sure. 100%. One of my decisions this year, and as you think about building what you're about to build, building your empire, which I'll be talking about tomorrow, as you think about your empire and what you're about to build, I want us to be clear and clean with saying these things. You want to be able to, how do I say this? You want to be able to have a placeholder and a decision you make to bring the world closer. One of the decisions I made was that I needed and wanted 100% to be closer to our community this year. So all of our offers and programs, they're crazy. And they're insane, and I've never done anything like it. I've said that before, but this, I think everyone thought I for real lost my mind. My decision, when I came out of the hospital, I wanted to go deep, and I wanted to one by one our community. So I decided to give everyone access, the ability to text me. Sounds crazy, but I did. Only people who are within our community, they can talk to me, or I get the opportunity to talk to them. So I give them my phone number. Let me give you my phone number. It is 305-677-8178. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because I wanted to have a place where you, from time to time, like every couple of days, I share my lessons, what I'm learning. Sometimes I'm taking pictures, video, I'm sharing behind the scenes. I decided I'm going to share behind the scenes with what's happening this morning. Right? So some of you watched me getting my IV. I sent it to a couple of you. Watched me getting my IV. My nurse, she uses her phone to find my veins. It was so cool. So truth is that I know for a fact that there is some beauty in being connected and being connected deep. For the person who gets a text message from me and doesn't respond, just know that I see you. And I'm super sad whenever you don't respond, because it's like the relationship we can't build, right? But some of you, we talk every day, and it's awesome, and I love it. And I think it's so cool and so much fun. A lot of people don't think it's me. They think it's just this mass broadcast. It's not a mass broadcast. It is me talking. And I am always so excited when I get to talk. For some people, I'm like, oh, they don't talk back. I'm just going to delete their number. Why would I want to be their friend? They don't want to talk back. But some people, they talk to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, sleepover. It's so weird. It's so cool. 305-677-8178. Yes. That is how you stay plugged into the DTDT community. If you have if you are sending me a text right now, if you want behind the scenes, you need to send me a text that says DTDT event, so that I know that you want to have behind the scenes. Because all day I'm going to be showing you behind the scenes, how we do things. It's a huge, amazing studio. Some of you should come here and produce your own events. That's a different conversation, but it's amazing. All right. So last but not least, DT. So we have a hashtag, okay? And I'm looking for the person who shares the most each day. We're going to be awarding people, and I'm going to sit before the next day and make the box, pack the package, send the money, whatever it is that we've decided. And each day there's going to be a different hashtag. So hashtag DTDT live event day 1. So live event day 2, live event day 3, etc., etc. Hashtag DTDT live event day 1. So that way we can track what you're learning. I'm going to go look. I'm literally going to be sitting as they give me more things later today. I'm going to be sitting and looking at them all. So please indulge me. Feel free to tag me. I'm not quite on Facebook, but I'm tempted to go to Facebook just for these next 4 days so that I can be there with you. Let me see. Did I do all the housekeeping stuff? DTDT tools. So a new tools page, an updated tools page is coming your way. And it's going to be good. For VIP, let me just say this. You are going to be operating with a dashboard. You're going to have a dashboard. One dashboard that has all of the things that are happening. So the room that we're going to be in, your late night Q&A if you've taken me up on VIP, your booking call with Ryan if there's times left today, even like tools and resources. You all get access to communicate with me inside, and all the DTDT coaches inside of our new nation. We have moved off of Facebook. And with moving off of Facebook, I'm going to be teaching and talking about why and how a whiteboard's coming and all types of drawing and slides. But I want to make sure I do this housekeeping right so that we're good. And more importantly, so that I don't miss anything. You'll have a dashboard that you're going to operate with every single day. Every day. Every day. But Tiffany, I don't have the money to go into VIP. You can get it from PayPal. PayPal will finance up to $5,000 or $6,000. You could use that to pay for one of the products or services. Don't let the lack of money be the reason why you don't make a decision. All right. Yes. Phone number. My phone number is 305. You can send me a text right now. 677-8178. I am taking our entire community into intimacy. So all of our programs, all of our products, our offers are going to be not me, they're going to be intimate. And it's on purpose. I have a long recovery ahead. I have way more physical therapy to be had. And so because I've decided to do that, because we decided to do that, I wanted to just be true to how to operate. If you were unsure, so let me just do some housekeeping, some more housekeeping. If you are like, hey, I am in this chat and I need some support and help, you want to head to Julie. You have a couple of people. So Julie is here and she is excited to connect with you. Second, I want to make sure that you have access to Karen. Karen is going to be hunting for your hashtags and tags. You want to tag us in your stories. Take the stories, take screenshots. I want to see what was your biggest lesson. I want to see what quote landed for you the most. I want to see who, what, and where. The people, I'm going to take the top 3 people each day in each of these categories. I'm going to name them the next morning. I'm going to either show the packages or having already wrapped it, send them off into the mail so you get them this week. Yay! If it's not, unless it's money. Ooh, money we might put in the mail too. But anyhow, so Karen, Team Tiffany, you'll see that she is there and super excited about connecting with you. And she's going to be watching our social media with me. So that way we can find who, where, and what. Next, the VIP people, you had access to this community. You need to join with the free link. The free link gives you a 20-day free trial to come and hang out with us so that you get to see what we're doing over there. It's pretty awesome. But that is the place where all the worksheets are going to be loaded. So if you don't get in there, you won't get the log shows. Yep, that's what you won't get. The worksheets. You won't get any of my feedback on homework. I'm going to be giving feedback myself every single day. I'm going to be doing the work with you. And then more importantly, you're going to miss out on the ability to talk to Matt longer, talk to Jerika longer, talk to Anna longer, talk to Ryan. That is where we hang out with our communities now all day long. All right. So let's talk about this thing called story. Story is a pretty interesting thing because someone just asked me if they should subscribe to our YouTube channel. The answer is yes. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, it'd be a good thing for you to just subscribe to it. The answer is yes. Please go ahead and do so. So let's talk about this thing called story. Story is an interesting piece of the puzzle because we operate and think and feel like it's just a piece, like it's an item, when the truth is that story is all of the items. Story is the foundation for which we build all of the things to sell all of the products to all of the people. In the past, we were taught, well, if we can connect with somebody and we can build rapport and we're really friendly, then we'll get a shot and we'll make more money. And yes, that does work. I don't want you to think that I'm saying it doesn't. It actually does work. But having knocked on 1,000 doors a month, every month for years, I'm here to tell you that the way to sales can be done tactically or it can be done strategically. Tactically, you put out a lot more effort and energy and you find yourself in bouts of, or strategy allows you to sit inside of, I have a process, I have a way, and if I continue to maximize my process and my way, I'm going to yield the result and create a foundation. Strategy dictates that you use your story as the hook, the bait, the radar, the sonar, the light in a dark room to go, hey, I'm the person you need and I have a solution to your problem. I've got a solution to your problem. I've got a solution to your problem. I've got a solution to your problem. The truth of the matter is that that is actually what we get paid for. We make more money by providing solutions to problems. And I know some people like to approach and say, but that's just not what I do. Well, damn it, if it's not what you do, then you're going to be broke. I don't even know how else to tell you that. Well, Tiffany, that doesn't feel right to me. Then go get a job. Like, I don't even know how to say this. And here's the thing. My statement to you, this is not going to be a journey of me saying, well, you need to build a business. No. Because I do believe that in some instances, it makes sense for you to work for a company and for you to also have things that allow you to play into your hobbies and things you love, or be in an environment where you can control how much cash you make. I was in an environment where I got to control how much cash I made. I didn't have to own a business. My statement to you today is to build your empire. Your empire is not just your business, it's yourself. Well, Tiffany, I don't really like talking to people and asking them for money. I don't really like talking to people and thinking and talking about money. Well, how are you going to make more money if you don't ask for it? Like, how are you going to do it? Because if you figured out how to ask for more and get more money, ask for more money, and you don't have to do anything for it, please do share. Because the truth of the matter is that each and every one of you have a story right now that people are waiting to hear. But they're pacing the floor, and some of them are running out of time because you're not telling your story. The better you get at telling your story, the easier it is for you to make money, however it is. And sometimes making money is that you just get picked up by the right company. You have people who want to partner with you. I have 2 companies right now that want me to sit on their board. They don't know me, and I'm black, and I'm a woman, but they want me to sit on their board. Not because I was recommended, just because of my story. They heard my story somewhere, in some way, in some capacity. You are an empire. Let's just take a moment of silence for that. This is a moment of silence. You're a whole empire. Now, the truth of the matter is that you are a whole empire because you can be. How big you choose to build it, is on you. You cannot build this thing strong without your story. So there are 3 parts to your story. There are 3 parts to your story: the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I want to reframe it. For those of you who have heard me teach this, I want to give you a new perspective on it. Think of your story as where you've been and where you're going. Where you've been, where you are, and where you're going. The second I begin to hire someone or look for someone on our team, because there are amazing people who They have entrepreneurial skills, and so they understand, but they really, truly, it doesn't make sense for them to be a business or be in business by themselves. It makes sense for them to make an office out of their third bedroom and hustle more money. It makes sense for them to do a bit of this and a bit of that. But the way that I look for contractors, team members, and friends, I want to give you this because this is not just people who work with me or work for me, work next to me, work around me. It's all the same. I want to know that they know where they're going. It doesn't have to be, I really want to own 2-3 properties and such and such and such and such. I'm not even looking for that. I don't even need that. I'm good. I need to hear that they're like, I really am looking for the kind of relationship that will ... I'll never forget one day, it was a long time ago, Matt and I used to take walks at 6 o'clock in the morning. And they were 2-mile walks and they were really good. And one of the times Matt was talking about a certain type of a person he wants in his life. And you know, I left really, he probably doesn't even remember this, but we were on our way back from Starbucks and we stopped in front of this theater that was closed and we sat on the steps and I was like, he was telling me the detail of the person, what they're going to be like. He was like, well, they're going to be this, that, and the other. They're probably going to dress like this, that. They're probably going to . And he thought that it was just a conversation, but I left. I left going, I love Matt even more. Because he had clarity on what he wanted, what he didn't want, and where he was going. That's my person. I can vibe with that. Person who says, I don't know, and wahoo, scared. You are your empire. I named this particular experience the Never Go Hungry Again edition because I knew what could happen if we saddled down and we learned some principles. You'll never go hungry again. Whether you decide to be acquired or hired, whether you decide to work alongside a company, or whether you decide to start your own business, it actually doesn't matter. You can make great money and live a kick-butt life working alongside a company or being employed by a company, for sure. And life is amazing, and you can build a lifestyle. I'm telling you. I just need you to make a decision to be more. I need you to make a decision after we end our time today to be more, to want more and desire more. I am scared as hell of people who don't want or desire enough. And I ask questions, especially after coming out and being sick, to dig into what they are or are not building. And I tell you the truth, I am terrified when I hear that the person is either building or thinking too small, or they're not wanting and desire and talking about their wants and desires out loud. Talking about their wants and desires out loud. Wee! Skew! It starts with you. There are 3 parts to your story. Number 1, the beginning of your story, the foundation. This part of your story dictates that you can give us context for where you've been, where you are. And then right after that, you have this really neat thing in which you are saying, this is the middle of my story. The middle of my story dictates that I 100% need to talk about the challenge or the problem that I faced. The end of our story dictates that we're going to talk about our quantifiable results or the solution. I did not start this journey talking about my children. I started our journey together today talking about my lack of decision. I took a totally different approach to my story. So many of you have heard me talk about my story, and I wanted to give you a new perspective of how to introduce your story and use it as a foundation. If you understood what I just said, if you got a feel for what I just said, and you were like, oh my gosh, Tiffany, I got that. I saw it. I see it now. Can you please put the word, yes, Tiffany, in the chat? Because the truth of the matter, the absolute truth of the matter is that I started this journey by giving you the context, which is the foundation. Then I gave you the problem that I faced. And then I gave you the solution. Once I made a decision to let go and trust, this and this and this happened. Over the last 90 days, I have been mastering in a brand new level this world of trusting. And it has been one of the hardest things that I have ever done. I thought what I did before was hard. Sweet Jesus, good googly moogly. That wasn't even close. Me learning to trust myself, trust really the people around, trust myself equally as much as trusting the people around me has been the hardest. Because I had to trust them blindly, and I had to trust them in ways that I couldn't go back and check behind them. I then had to be willing to dismantle so many things, because I've dismantled so many things. And for some of you, it's like your lucky day. But I had to trust. When I decided that we were going to do an event, DTDT Live, everybody was like, Tiffany, you're crazy. We cannot do that. I said, yes, we can. Of course we can. I have me. My body might be a little weaker, but my mind is intact. I'm ready. I just need to make decisions as to how am I going to keep my stamina for those 3-4 days. But I made a commitment. I'm on a mission to tap into the world's untapped potential. Now that I'm able to, I need to give that 100%, not 10. I knew that I had a responsibility to myself and everybody who stepped up to the plate in this last 90 days, and that I trusted and that loved me and that I loved, to give it 100% and to give you 100%. The beginning of our story gives the context. Right now, what's the beginning of your story? If you've told your story in the past, if you were going to tell me a new story, if you were going to tell me a new part of your story, what would be the new part of your story? What have you accomplished in the last couple of months? What is the new part of your story? The second part of that is, after what is the new part of your story, what is the challenge that you face? What is the problem? What is the problem? And then after that, I'm going to ask you to be transparent with me and to then answer this question. What was the result? Today I am producing this event in our very own studio. We have built and broken up and down studios across the world, especially over the last 2 years, but we have never been in our own event space. I'm standing inside of our own event space. We have tons of equipment and cameras and lights and cool things and gadgets, most of which I don't know actually how they work. I just know they're awesome. But the truth of the matter is that we're standing in our own studio. This is one of the decisions that I made. I made the decision before I went to the hospital, and then it became tough to follow through with the decision. So I had to make new decisions to still get to the same result. You got me? Sometimes we make a decision and it doesn't work out. It goes bananas land. It goes completely left, and we're like, what do I do in these streets? But it doesn't change the fact that I have an opportunity to make a new decision. As long as I am alive, you and I are alive today, we both have the opportunity to make a new decision. So I made a new decision. I made a new decision. And here we are today. Quantifiable results. This is where you begin to build something that is big enough for other people to stand on. This is where you begin to hold on and be steadfast, not just on the dream, but what you're building. And I don't want you to leave here thinking, I just need to get started and build something. I'm going to build something. No, don't just go build something. Build something that will last. Build something that will last. I remember hearing someone say, go build something. And build something is good, but it's not great. You can go and build something, but if you build something and you don't build things to last, you're just building a bunch of stuff all over the place, and that leaves you feeling incomplete. It leaves the people around you feeling incomplete. It leaves the people around you feeling frustrated. It leaves you letting the people around you feeling lost, hurt. Don't just build something. I want you to build something that will last. This is an example of me building something that will last. What are you building? The beginning, middle, and end of your story is the most important part of all of the puzzles that you're ever going to build from here on out. And I want you to be hyper-focused on asking yourself, well, what am I willing to do? Well, Tiffany, I don't really need to use my story in what I'm doing. Okay, fine. Well, I'm going to call BS. I bet that if you did use your story every time you opened your mouth to people, well, Tiffany, my industry doesn't work like that. My industry doesn't roll like that. It's a little different over here. But is it? I've made millions of dollars telling my story. You can't tell me different. I've built a community around the world, and I'm still Black. Telling my story. You're bugging. I don't have a college degree. I don't have a license. I don't have any certifications. I don't have any of that stuff. And I left for 90 days. And the movement that we've created is stronger than it's ever been before. The truth of the matter is that you have everything you need. Your story is the foundation for how you do so. That's the item that you need. For the rest of the day, we'll be walking through, well, how do I tell my story? For those of you who are joining us at the $1.47, you'll be working with me and our team on how do you tell your story? What are the mechanics? What are the nuts and bolts? What are the pieces that I need to put together? You're going to be able to work with our coaches, who work with other people. It's going to be pretty awesome. I've lined out a totally different day for you because I wanted you to do, not write. I was over all you taking all the endless notes. I have 17 notebooks. Okay, great. But if you didn't do anything with them, you've wasted your time and mine. You're not going to waste my time no more. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're not going to waste my time. I almost died in these streets. And so you're not going to waste my time. See how I had to get hood on you people? You see what kind of things you bring out on me? This is serious. You're not going to waste my time. This is just not going to happen. For those of you who are saying to yourself, man, I need to build something. I need to build something that lasts. I say, yes, come on over. Come build with me and build something to last. Build to last. I want you to build to last. Over the last 90 days, I have been 60 days, honestly. The last 60 days, I have been head down with a pen and a paper. No tools, no fancy computer, building something to last. Making phone calls, calling the people, pulling the strings. Canceling, cutting, macheting. Erasing, starting over. It's okay to start over. Build something that will last. I cannot wait to hang out with you today. For those of you who are like, boy, oh boy, I don't know what to do next and I'm lost, let me give you 2 things that I would do as a next step. Number 1, I'd go stalk Ryan. I'd stalk him like, like white on rice kind of thing. 480-269-1355 or ryan@tiffanylargie.com. RYAN. The second thing I'm going to say is if you're like, I just want to such and such and such, 480-256-8022 gets you to the Julie Long, our event concierge, and she absolutely can help steer you not down the wrong path. Because some of you are going to listen to this and go, I don't know, I got enough. Did you do the work? Did you get enough? Because I didn't get enough, and I'm the one teaching. I didn't get enough, and I'm the one teaching. I want to just thank you for being present and for being here. Couple of things. So let me do some housekeeping so everyone knows what's happening next. You're going to be getting emails. So you're going to be getting emails. Some of you are going to be getting 2, and some of you will be getting 1. You're going to get emails. In the emails are your next step. For some of you, I'm going to see you right here tomorrow morning. For everybody, I'm going to be responding to you in the chat throughout the day. Inside of here, I'm going to go back and be asking you questions and try to understand where you are. For others, you're going to take a quick break. You're heading to go grab water, tea, maybe some whiskey, and you're going to be getting ready for us to workshop. You're going to be sent a new link, as we're going to be inside of a private space where we'll be building for the rest of today amazingly together. Hip hip hooray! For some of you, this is going to be an opportunity for you to take some screenshots and head to social media. And we're going to be using and leveraging social media so I can teach you how you can use it to partner with these multi-billion-dollar companies so that they can be the backbone of sharing your story. For some of you, this morning has been an altar call. We are all waiting. I can't wait to see what you're going to do with what we have walked hand in hand with, not just this morning, but right now. I can't wait to see what you're going to build later on today. I can't wait to see who you're going to become by the time that we end our day together. Thank you so much for choosing DTDT. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you in roughly 15 minutes inside of the private room. If you do not have access yet, don't worry, it's coming. Just a moment. We will see you there. I will see you there, and we're going to have an amazing day. Goodbye.
I grew up in a place where they told you what to chase, told you how to run the race.